Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're excited today. We are here talking about Netflix rom-coms. This could be interesting. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Natasha Alvar is here.
Hi everyone. Hello.
Natasha, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah. I mean, school holidays here, so we have a 1 week break, so that's awesome. So I get to wake up a bit later today.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, so you don't have like a longer 3 month summer break like they do here in
No,
uh,
no.
the
Like
school.
no, we get like a June break, so we get holidays in June, and July I'm
Mm-hmm.
back in school. And August is like all the way, and then September we get like a 1 week holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I don't know. They like to spread out the holidays. I don't know, something to look forward to, I guess. So we are like,
Yeah.
oh, let's get to September. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, you've been on our show a number of times, but you are from Singapore, right?
Yep. I am a small country with no seasons.
Yes. Yeah. If you've ever seen Crazy Rich Asians, that's
Oh
basically
yes. Yeah, great reference point.
that's Natasha's life, right? Very
No,
exciting.
totally, like, I'm eating like satay all the time at, at that coffee at that particular coffee place. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you have a fun summer movie watching season? What do you think? I know you said on
Um n-
Twitter you haven't been feeling it that much.
yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Like, I think that I can only name like, on one hand, I think the amount of movies that like wowed me. I mean, there were some
Mm-hmm.
enjoyable ones, right? Like the sevens and the 7.5s, right? That are
Mm-hmm.
competent. They're good films, but you kind of like review them, and then after that, you won't really remember them. I think in years to come, like I'm talking about the ones that uh, like still linger in your
Mm-hmm.
mind. Yeah, after the year's over. I thought that last year there were so many of these films, but I don't know. This year, yeah, so
Hmm.
far it's been about three, I would say. Yeah,
Well, I felt that way at the beginning of the year through
yeah,
like April.
yeah,
Sundance was basically a miss for me. I usually have at least two movies out of Sundance that ended up in my top 10. I didn't have any of that
yeah,
this year, and a lot of the ones that other people loved, I was not a fan of, or I didn't love,
yeah.
like Cha Cha Real Smooth, and some other movies that I didn't love as much as others. Um, but then I've had a bunch of hits, but most of them are smaller movies.
Yeah.
Like I love Marcel the Shell with
Oh
Shoes
yeah.
On. I
I think I saw your review. Yeah.
I loved that. I loved Apollo 10 and a half, Space Age Childhood. Did you get to see that? That's on Netflix.
Which one?
Apollo 10 and a half.
Oh, uh
Richard
the
Linklater.
later one. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
I think I
that.
missed that. Yeah, maybe I need to go and circle back and watch that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I also loved a little movie called Hit the Road,
Okay.
Iranian film. Did you ever get to see that?
No.
It's really
Maybe that's
good.
why it's not been great. I have not seen any of these films. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a lot of work to do.
And they're all, like I said, mostly small. I loved RRR.
Oh, RRR was great.
It
Yeah.
was so good.
That's one of like the top films for me this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
I
RRR.
don't know anybody who disliked it that actually watched it all the way through.
Wasn't there that guy who was on
Yeah.
Twitter who said that he couldn't get through the credits or something?
Yeah. You watched 15 minutes of it, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And everyone was like burning him. Everyone was like shading him. Oh my
I'm
god.
like, if you can
Yeah.
only watch 15 minutes of RRR, then don't share it with the world. Like, it's fine if it's not your jam, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it sharing that with everybody.
Yeah, man. Just like, guys are like, I'm not feeling it internally. And then switch it off. And then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, So yes, I mean, I thought Top Gun Maverick was excellent
Yeah,
for that kind of entertainment. That kind of,
yeah,
that's my favorite of like the blockbusters.
yeah. And then
And
there's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
yeah, that was good. That was
Yeah.
solid. I loved the Phantom of the Open. Did you get to see that?
Wait, what?
See, this is the thing. You haven't seen the good movies. Phantom of the Open. It's really cute. It's
Ugh.
about the world's worst golfer. Played by Mark Rylance, and Sally Hawkins is his wife. It's
Oh,
really cute.
okay, okay, okay. I think I saw the media images. Yeah, but I've
Yeah,
not watched it. Okay, okay, okay. That's
yeah.
the yeah. I thought you were gonna say Phantom of the Opera. I was like, Rachel, what century are you in? Like, no.
I did see
Okay.
that in March,
Yeah.
in Broadway.
Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff is just everlasting, right? It's always
Yes,
good. Yeah.
yeah. I really liked the bad guys and
Oh, the
Chippendale.
animated film. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I love animation, and I think this has been an excellent year for animation. I mean, like I said, Marcel the Shell, Apollo 10 and a half, The Bad Guys, and Chippendale, all in my
Yeah.
top 10. Were all really good.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with
hmm
those.
And then rounding off, not that we're talking our top 10s, but why not? My 10th favorite was the outfit. Did
Oh, okay. I think that's where we disagree. I think.
we disagree on that one.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
it was so good. I thought it was so clever, and I'm not normally a mob movie
yeah.
person, but I really liked it. And Johnny Flynn, oh my
Johnny
gosh,
Flynn
I
is
love
good.
him.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah. But I spent like most of the movie trying to figure out where I've seen him from because he's in Emma,
hmm
right?
yeah,
I
he's
was like,
an
this
Emma.
guy's face is so familiar, and I'm like, where have I seen him? And yeah, I had to go and like IMDb him to like figure that out. So
Yeah.
he looks so different, right? In Emma and
hmm
in the outfit. Yeah,
Yeah, I really thought it was clever. I really enjoyed the script, and the twists
yeah.
surprised me, and I don't know. I thought that was very well done. And yeah, a couple others. I thought the Lost City was really fun.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fun. Yeah,
I
I
enjoyed
enjoyed
that.
it. Yeah, I enjoyed Sandra Bullock and Channing, right? Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that was fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Did you
Oh
see
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
cute.
Everyone's been talking about it. I think, right, on
Yeah.
Twitter. I think I've seen. Yeah. Okay,
It's
I got a lot.
adorable,
I got
that's
a lot.
why.
Rachel, you just schooled me. You just schooled me. You're like, girl, you haven't been watching lots of films.
Well, what are your 3? You said there's 3 that have stood out for you. What are the 3?
Yeah, so I think it's Top Gun,
Mhm.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, and RRR.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, those are all good.
Yeah,
Those are all good
yeah.
movies.
And maybe the Nick Cage movie I thought was kind of
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah. I thought it was, I mean, I thought it was it rolled out, I
It was
think, in
fun.
a funny way. Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought it was okay. Yeah.
I didn't even need the whole espionage part.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it could have just been them having this weekend
Yeah,
together.
bromance, right? It was so
Romance.
good. Yeah, that's so
Yeah, I
good.
didn't even need uh, yeah. So it's been an interesting year. There are other movies that I did not think I would like that I ended up enjoying. I liked The New Father of the Bride way more than I thought I would.
Oh, I
We talked about
enjoyed
that
that
here on the
too.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
It
thought
was good.
I also thought I wouldn't like it because I
Yeah.
loved the original so much, but it was really
Mhm.
actually really good. It
Yeah.
updated it really well. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. I also liked Bob's Burgers movie way more than I expected because I'm not a big fan of the show, but I thought it was really funny, and
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be a musical,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and so
yeah.
that was fun.
That's always
I
nice, right?
also
Yeah.
liked I Want You Back more than I expected.
Oh, yeah, the one we talked about. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's right.
Valentine's
We
Day
talked about that,
movies. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
and
the
yeah, and I
I
enjoyed
agree.
Elvis. What do you think of Elvis? I feel like it's divisive.
Uh I have not seen Elvis. because
Oh,
I
okay.
was planning to go and watch it with my husband, who has who is sleeping right now, by the way. So so that's the state of things. So yeah, we've been like saying let's go and watch it, let's go and watch it, but we've not found the time. So we wanted to watch it together. So I've been waiting on
Yeah.
him. Yeah, I think it's still showing here, so I'll probably
Hmm.
like try to see it in the theater. Yeah.
I liked it. It's not perfect, but I enjoyed it. The performance is great. Um,
Yeah.
Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by W Rated, the podcast where we willingly watch the world's worst rated movies. Join me, Daisy,
and me, Claire, as we break down the IMDb Bottom 100, choosing a different film from the list every episode.
We take a deep dive into the plot, production, release, and reviews, usually with a special guest, to uncover if these films are truly as bad as everyone says they are.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, and anywhere else you find your podcasts.
we are talking about Netflix, and the reason why we haven't brought up any Netflix films is because they have not been very good.
Yeah,
They're
people
not.
tuning in are like, am I on the wrong podcast? Is it like a 2022 movie wrap up? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there, there's there was the wedding season,
Mm,
which we already talked about on a previous episode of the podcast. That was fun. I liked
yeah,
that one.
yeah,
Um, but most of the movies coming from Netflix have not been good this year. They've been weak, the rom-coms at least.
yeah. I agree. I agree.
So
Like,
and I
yeah,
always hate when I would kind of lean negative on podcasts,
yeah,
but
yeah,
but what are you gonna do? But we decided we would talk about also some other ones on the service that we enjoy to try to make it more positive. But I guess we should dive in, talk about these
yeah.
movies. I mean, it's funny because people think it's so easy to make a rom com, but clearly there's so many on here that were not successful that it's not easy to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe Netflix needs us to write for them
Yeah,
or to give them like
Netflix,
some
we're available.
feedback. Yeah. Netflix is like whatever. No, yeah, but you're absolutely right. I think that I would think that it's not difficult to do. The formula is
Yeah,
straightforward. Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't know.
Well, the first one we're going to talk about, this was on the 19th. It's called A Perfect Pairing and it stars Victoria Justice and Adam Demos, director Stuart McDonald, writer Elizabeth Hackett, and Hilary Galani, who Elizabeth Hackett, she writes a lot of Hallmark stuff.
Okay.
But it's LA-based wine executive Lola starts up her own company and flies to Australia to secure a potential client. Lola finds herself working on the client's sheep farm under Max in order to prove her proficiency. She secures the client and falls in love along the way. So, what were your thoughts overall about this one?
Okay, I think I didn't understand why she had to work at the station. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
it was like a stupid business plan. Like that was her idea of like let me impress this woman, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I found it
She was trying to get them to his sister, Adam Demos'
yeah,
sister,
yeah,
to agree to allow her company to distribute the
yeah,
wine in America, I think.
yeah, yeah.
So it was like if she worked for them, then she would win them over or something. But yeah,
Oh
I mean,
god,
this
yeah.
movie, it it assumes that we have way more interest in wine than we do, and it was so boring. This movie just nonstop talking about wine and wine business, and when there's like an inevitable sort of betrayal of the wine business, it's just like
Yeah.
we're supposed to care and be super invested. And I mean, so Adam Demos is one of the most handsome humans on this planet. He's
Mhm.
gorgeous.
Mhm. Yeah.
And he spends almost this entire movie in the long sleeve shirt, high collar. I mean, that's how wrong they get this. Do they really think we care more about about the intricacies of international wine distribution than we care about Adam Demos. I mean, we watched this movie to see Adam Demos being super dreamy,
Yeah.
not to have lots of intense discussions about wine.
And yeah, and I don't know. And they would have like these long conversations, right? Like his vehicle, his
Yeah.
Jeep or something was always breaking down, and they would have these like long conversations, and I would remember none of it because it's
Yeah.
so boring. Like nothing they talk about is interesting. Like she talked
Yeah.
about Pinterest at some point. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought
Yeah,
maybe
and they
things would
just
get a bit interesting when they had like that pool scene. You know, there's like a scene at the pool.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
but
and
it
there's
was
one scene
not.
where he's like hauling hay. That was a
Okay.
highlight.
Yeah, that should be in there somewhere.
I mean, that was in the promo, but it was very
Yeah,
short. I mean,
yeah.
I really am not asking much from this movie. I just want Adam Demos being dreamy, and them like he did the one, I think, with the
Falling in love.
In with love or whatever.
Falling in love, yeah.
Falling in love, yeah,
With
falling in love.
what's her name? The
Christian
singer. Yeah,
Miliani,
Christina
Christina, yeah.
Milian. Yeah.
And that one, very simple. They're just renovating this house. They don't like each other at first,
Yeah.
and then they fall in love as they're renovating this inn.
Yeah. And there's a goat.
Yeah, and he gets to be dreamy. That's all I'm asking for. And this movie did not supply it.
I don't know. And there was a lot of like shit jokes. Like
Yes,
literal shit jokes.
that's true. There were a
I was
lot.
like, wow, it's like the humor was super low, bro. I'm just like, okay, I don't think this is funny. Like seeing
Yeah,
her, like, yeah. And I thought
that's
that the
true.
sister was weird. Like she hired her because she thought that the brother would like her. Like what kind of weird business
Yeah,
is she
yeah. The
running?
sister seemed like from a different movie.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
It was
like,
like, oh,
it's
yeah.
like she came out of like Succession or something like that.
Yeah. Yes. With her business suits
Yeah,
and everything. Oh god, yeah. She was like, let me plot, let me hire this girl
yeah.
to,
I mean, you
yeah,
don't watch a movie called A Perfect Pairing for like this to be some like intense family business discussions, and
yeah,
I mean, you just watch it to have stupid silly fun.
yeah, yeah. And I think the supporting characters were also not memorable.
Hmm.
Like there was
Yeah,
like some like bullying going on the station, and I was like, okay,
yeah. And
sure,
there was a
yeah,
movie on Hallmark Channel called A Perfect Pairing this year in
yeah.
January. It's not
Was that
great,
better?
but it
Oh,
was better
okay.
than this. It's better than
maybe
this.
maybe the title is cursed.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah,
It's a woman who is a wine critic, a vineyard whatever critic, and she
yeah.
gets amnesia. She
Oh,
falls and she gets amnesia, and she
yeah.
ends up getting taken care of by one of the vineyard owners that she had criticized heavily in one of her
Oh,
reviews.
yeah.
And it was fine.
Okay, okay.
It was better than this. Watch that instead if you're jonesing. In general, the wine movies aren't my favorite.
Yeah, maybe
They get
because
a
they get so
little,
serious about the wine, maybe.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They take the wine too seriously, and as someone who does not drink wine or care about wine, it's usually pretty dull. Pretty
Yeah.
dull.
Maybe there's like a whole subsector of like wine lovers who are like, yes.
Yes, I think so. There must be. There
Yeah.
must be. But
Yeah.
if you hire Adam Demos in your movie, let him be dreamy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's up for it.
They gave him like the tortured kind of backstory, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is too long. Yeah.
It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of the Alexander Skarsgård Tarzan, where I'm like, why on earth would we want to watch a Tarzan movie with Alexander Skarsgård and have him be in a button-up shirt for like 80% of the movie? What?
Wait. At least there's a 20%. Perfect Pairing didn't even give us like 1% of Adam Demos.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're going 1 to 4 1 to 4 stars, let's say, for this,
Yeah.
what would you give this?
I think I think I gave it a pass, so I think it's a 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I give it a
Yeah.
2, but
Yeah. I mean,
it was
yeah.
disappointing. I wanted it to be a lot better than it was.
Yeah. I think it had the formula to succeed, right?
Uh-huh.
Good leads. Yeah, the story just kind of failed, I think.
Yeah. So then on the 6th of May, we had Along for the Ride. This stars Emma Passero and Belmont Carnelli, and directors Sofia Alvarez, writers Sofia Alvarez, and based on the Sarah Dessen novel. The
Yeah.
summer before college, Auden meets the mysterious Eli, a fellow insomniac. While the seaside town of Colby sleeps, the two embark on a nightly quest to help Auden experience the fun, carefree teen life she never knew she wanted. So it's one of our teen romances.
Hmm.
What did you think of this one?
I didn't watch it because you said it's not good. I trusted you, Rachel. I was
Oh,
like,
thank
Rachel
you.
said it's not good, so I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, like I think it appeared on my Netflix and I was contemplating it, but when I saw you, I think you tweeted about it and you were telling me
Yes.
about it. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time. So I didn't watch it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just not engaging. I mean, there was some they tried to you have her in this town living with her dad, and her dad has this new wife and a new child, new baby. And so
Yeah,
things are super stressed, and Kate Bosworth plays her stepmom, and her dad is frustrating. He he gives up really easily on things. He's not very reliable, and so there's some stuff there that's like interesting, but the relationship was just such a snooze. I mean, they they're fighting insomnia, but they gave me they put me to sleep. They cleared my
oh
insomnia.
no, oh
There was no
no.
there was no chemistry between them. There was no. It was just flat. It was just
Yeah,
flat and dull. And so it's the stuff when she was more dealing with the family stuff that was more interesting and better.
yeah.
But I don't know, it just the any of the relationship stuff, it was just not interesting to me.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I think maybe like sometimes they don't know how to like get the actors, I think, to create chemistry or how to shoot it
mhm,
so that you can see the chemistry. Like I think they just kind of depend on these actors having chemistry on their
yeah.
own maybe. Yeah. And then
And I
it
can
just
see
doesn't
how it
work.
would be cute in the book, the Sarah Dessen book,
Yeah.
the them hanging out at night and doing stuff, but it just didn't translate well to me to the screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite genre to begin with, as far as coming of age, teenage kind of stories, but when it's done well, I like it. I mean, I
Yeah.
loved a book this year called "Better Than the Movies" by Lynn Painter. I had Lynn Painter on the podcast because I liked it so much, and that's a teen love story.
Yeah.
But I just absolutely loved the characters. I thought they were great, and
Yeah.
so I highly recommend that. But they were just bland. Both of the characters didn't have any real personality. I didn't feel like, and no chemistry together. So yeah, I would give this one, I guess. Well, I mean, I think I should give Perfect Pairing like 1.5, because this I give it 2. I think it's better than Perfect Pairing,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not great. Um, okay, so next on the 22nd of June, we had Love and Gelato. This is also based on the novel by Jenna Evans Welch. It stars Susanna Skaggs and director Brandon Camp. And it's Lena makes a promise to her sick mother that she'll spend the summer before college in Rome, where she falls for the city, the people, and the gelato.
Mm.
Yes. So this is another teenage movie. And I feel like I'm the only person who liked this movie. It didn't get very good reception, but I just liked Susanna Skaggs as Lena. I thought that she was really good, and her sort of learning to kind of forgive her mother and deal with the grief, and kind of start to understand her father a little bit through the course of the movie worked for me. I thought that the two romances were fun enough, were cute enough, and lots of Rome, and I maybe it's helped by the fact that I went to Italy when I was 17. So there's
Oh.
a little bit nostalgia. I did not have a grand love affair in Rome, but
Oh.
I did go and visit when I was 17. It's a beautiful place. I'd love to go back. I haven't been since. But yeah, well, I went on a there was a teacher at my high school that would plan these kind of trips.
Yeah.
And originally, the reason I had gotten interested is that the original trip was to go to Australia, and I always wanted to go to Australia, still do to this day. And so we kind of, but not enough people signed up. So she changed it to Italy and Greece. And I was kind of like, okay, why not go to Italy and Greece? And so,
Yeah.
so I went with a bunch of my classmates to Italy, and then we went to Greece, and it was just, a great experience. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And Rome was, we said 2 days in Rome. I think we had 2 days in Florence. We went 2 days in Rome, went to the Amalfi Coast, and then over to Greece. So it's a beautiful place. I mean, for some reason, romances have been stuck on Italy this year. The Italian
Yeah.
tourism board has been doing a great job, because there's been, I think, 5 movies on Hallmark Channel set in Italy or Italian restaurants, one or the other. And
Wow.
yeah, and then there's this, and then Love in the Villa, which we'll talk about. So everybody's been thinking about Italy a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're thinking romantic destinations, then there's what? There's France, there's Italy,
Mm-hmm.
there's Greece. Maybe, I don't know. And then you see what, I guess they see what they can accommodate, right, in their
Mm-hmm.
budget or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some different ones with Hallmark. We had one that was set in a movie that was set in Brussels, which was fun and something
Oh,
different.
that's
Yeah.
unique place.
Mm-hmm. And we had one set in Africa. It wasn't the best movie, but we had one, of course, lots set in the islands. So it was Hawaii or
Yeah,
someplace,
yeah, yeah.
Fiji, a lot of there. Ireland is probably the second most popular. Italy and then Ireland.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot set in
Ireland.
Ireland,
Okay, interesting.
including a really good one called The Presence of Love, that was one of the best from Hallmark this year that you think you'd like.
The presence of it's set in
Presence of
Ireland.
Love.
It's set in Ireland.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
But people have been obsessed with Italy this year, and this is one of them. Love and
Yeah,
Gelato.
yeah.
And yeah, I liked it again because I thought her performance was strong. I liked her character. I liked her journey. And yeah. And so what did you think of Love and Gelato?
Oh no. Yeah, I think you were talking about this, right? That I think you're the only one who went fresh on on
I
Rotten
feel like it,
Tomatoes.
yeah.
Yeah. I did not go fresh. I think I went rotten. I think I agree with you that I think she's good, right? But I think the moving parts around her needed a little bit more work. And I think I don't know, like I think that the romances, like I think the Alexandro whatever that romance, I thought it was kind of weak
Mm.
when they meet. You're not quite sure what exactly, like, draws them into each other. I mean, I guess it's just like they're both hot, maybe, I don't know. Like, I guess
Yeah.
that's the only incentive you need to like fall in love. So, and I don't know, like the whole chase around the opera place or something was kind of bizarre. Like there are some like
Yeah,
really
that was a
sweet
little
moments.
long.
Yeah, there are some really like sweet moments, I thought, but I think my qualm is that it felt like there were too many like movies in one movie. Like I felt like
Mhm.
it was taking inspiration from like lots of other film narratives, right? So you have like something like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, like that whole go to a foreign country and fall in love thing. Then you have like the
Mhm.
Lizzie McGuire, aspect. I even felt like it was a bit Princess Diaries kind esque, right? So
Mhm.
I felt that
Well,
there
there's, like,
were a
Roman
lot of
holiday, of course, too.
yeah. I
Of
felt like there
course.
were a lot of things happening, and that kind of crowded. I think they made the screenplay really, really like crowded and busy, and not it didn't allow for a lot, I think, of emotional payoffs, because she does go through, like you said, right, quite an emotional journey, right, reckoning with, her mom's past in Italy,
Mhm.
right, her father, so I felt like um that should have been like the base. So I think they needed to choose, right? Did you want to be like a fun rom-com set in Italy, right? Or did you want to do like a self-discovery coming of age kind of thing? So I felt like they tried to do everything, and then
Mhm.
it made like some parts not work as much. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, I guess I liked it just enough, to give it a
Yeah.
because of her performance, because of the journey that she went on was moving enough. I was invested enough, but it's not like a masterpiece or anything. And I guess I thought that the romance, the two guys were dreamy enough that I was I was entertained enough.
Yeah.
But I can understand your points that
Yeah.
yeah, that definitely that opera scene went on really long. Uh, and I do think that they kind of keep both guys um likable to an extent that it might have worked better if they'd had one that was the more obvious choice, because it leaves you sort of like, I don't know which one I'm supposed to be rooting for with this,
Yeah.
you
Like
know.
they tried to saddle them each with like some kind of obstacle, right? Which
Yeah.
created a lot more, busyness, right? So like, Alessandro has like, he was with some girl, right? Or he has like the whole like, oh,
Because
I'm a
his
rich
father and he's
boy,
rich.
yeah, thing going on. And then Lorenzo had the girlfriend, right? And then, and the whole, want to be a chef
Mhm.
kind of thing. So there was all that, like, yeah. So I felt like they created a lot of obstacles to like the pairings,
Mhm.
that it made it like kind of difficult, because it's like it was, if it just had been one relationship, right, then if there was
Mhm.
one obstacle, I guess you could kind of get behind it.
Yeah,
But
or
now, yeah.
you can have the two guys but make one sort of the more obvious choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would give this a out of 4, I would give this a 3.
Okay, I think I'm on a 1.5.
Okay. All right. So we won't talk long about this because we did a whole episode of the podcast about it, but we have Persuasion on the 15th of July. This is Dakota Johnson, Cosmo Jarvis, Henry Golding, director Carrie Cracknell. 8 years after Anne Elliot was persuaded not to marry a dashing man of humble origins, they meet again. Will she seize her second chance at true love? And I was really looking forward to this. I love me my Jane Austen. And even when the trailer came out, everybody was super upset. And I was like, just give it a chance. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It was not good. It was bad. It was bad. It was so disappointing. I don't know what they were thinking. I get that you need to try something different, but you need to at least have some ties back to the original novel. I
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can appreciate creative decisions. I am way more open to movies like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and movies that other people like. I'm not a strict traditionalist by any means when it comes to Austen,
yeah,
but
yeah,
even Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Elizabeth at least she is Elizabeth. Like, it's her
yeah.
character. This, it had nothing to do with Anne Elliot at all. And that was frustrating
Completely.
to me. And she's all talking to the breaking the fourth wall, getting drunk all the time, being sassy. It just was not her character at all. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
if you want to make another story, then fine, make another story, but don't add Persuasion and have it have nothing to do with the original story.
yeah. Yeah, I think you're right? Like I think even if it's a loose adaptation, I think, if you're gonna adapt something, then you have to have the bones of the characters
Yeah.
be there in some way. Like even like Fire Island, I really enjoyed,
Mhm.
because I think the basic foundation, and even the characterization was all there, right? Like these characters, you
Yeah.
could tell who was Lizzie, you could tell who was Darcy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was clearly there. So if you're gonna do like a a loose interpretation, it still has to have that. Then why bother? I just name
Yeah.
it something else. Then if you don't
Yeah.
want to add that Persuasion, yeah. So
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then they have Henry Golding as Mr. Elliot, and I feel like they lost their nerve. They cast him, and then they make him the like hero of the story, and the end is like his wedding and saying, "Oh, don't worry to be brave and love whoever you want to love," and whatever. I'm like,
Oh
it was
my god.
bad. It was
Yeah,
really bad, and
yeah.
they had Dakota Johnson and Cosmo Jarvis had no chemistry at all.
Ye-
They
yes,
weren't even
agree.
really given a chance to have chemistry because it's already a story with very little stakes. It's a very simple story. But they have this scene in the middle of the movie where they decide that, oh, well, they're going to be friends. And it's okay that they're
Yeah.
going to be friends, which doesn't make any sense because the whole point of the story is building up this tension of like, is he still resentful of her? Is she gets more sort of sad and desperate, and he's getting more and more jealous. So when you have that scene in the middle of the movie, it takes out all of the stakes of, are they going to be together? Are they going to all that tension that's there
Yeah.
is gone because
Yeah.
okay, they're gonna be friends, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, I think the tension was just not there. Like, I don't even know what I'm waiting for. Am I waiting
Yeah.
for these two boring people to get together? I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I care? I don't care, right? Like,
Yeah.
like you said, there's really no like they didn't build any kind of chemistry between the two of them. He was just, I don't know. They can't communicate longing for some reason. Like he looks confused every
Yeah.
time he looks at her, and I'm like, is that longing? Is that I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. I mean, you've watched the 2007 adaptation, right? The one
Yeah.
with Sally
I like
Hawkins.
that one.
Yeah, I think they, even if it's like a bit too, they did similar things, right? Like the running in the
Hmm.
street. She does
Yeah.
break the fourth wall ish, right? She stares at the
Yeah, a
camera
little
a lot.
bit.
Yeah, but I thought that they were able to communicate like that longing and that melancholy like so well,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like I think there was a similar scene where the Dakota Johnson's Anne Elliot is like looking across, right, at, I think they're having the party or something, and she couldn't go because the sister was like, you should stay and take care of the sick child, right?
Yeah.
And she like dumps wine on her head or something. She's like drunk, right?
It was so
And
bizarre.
yeah, compared to the 2007 one, which had a similar scene where she goes out into like the garden area and looks at the lighted window, right? And
Hmm.
you can feel that longing. It's like similarly staged, but like so bizarrely different.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a very
and
strange movie.
when you have Jane Austen, don't sub in your own literature, your own screenplay of like a 5 in London is a 10. I mean, a 5 in, 5 in London is a 10 in Bath.
Yeah.
No, no. It was a big miss. Persuasion. It was very disappointing. What rating would you give it?
I think a 1.5.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think Dakota Johnson does try. I think she does, when they give her the space to be melancholic, to be, I think she does communicate that feelings quite well. And I like Henry Golding, even though I thought the characterization wasn't exactly spot on, but I did enjoy when he was there. Yeah. So I think it's a 1.5.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
think I don't know why they didn't just have him be Wentworth. I don't really understand the casting.
Yeah, they have more
That
chemistry, right? The two of them,
yeah, yeah,
weirdly. Yeah.
him and Miss Clay. Evidently, we're supposed to be excited about that. Rooting for the marriage. Oh boy. All right. Then we had on the 1st of September, we have Love in the Villa, Kat Graham and Tom Hooper, director, writer Mark Steven Johnson, who I have interviewed here on this podcast. So you want to check that out. A young woman takes a trip to romantic Verona, Italy after a breakup, only to find that the villa she reserved was double booked and she'll have to share her vacation with a cynical British man. This movie had so much potential. I was hyped for it. I gave it my most hyped score in the preview. I was really looking forward to it. And boy, did it disappoint. It was just not what I wanted at all. And we were talking about how it seems like it should be easy to write a romantic comedy. I know that it's not, but I do think that we overcomplicate it sometimes. And this was should have just been a base hit, like easy, got it. And I don't know, just the decisions that they made were so strange.
Yeah.
And having it be this prank war kind of thing that it comes into, where they're just so mean to each other. Like literally, she could have killed him on several instances, and I just didn't see what his behavior was that made that kind of attack worthy of that. I didn't think. I mean, he lets her stay there. He's maybe a little bit of a jerk, but nothing that. I mean, he literally could have died.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
allergic to these cats,
Oh
and
my god.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just was bizarre and not romantic at all, and uh, I, I just was very disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, completely. I agree with you so much on the fact that I don't understand the inciting incident that makes her go on this rampage on him, right? Because they've agreed, right? They've agreed to
Yeah.
share the space. He wasn't doing anything douchebaggy, right? Like he was quite, I mean, given the fact that he most likely had the advance reservation, right? He's been staying in this place. He's got dibs, kind of, right? But he's been quite
Mm.
okay about it. And the only like thing that I could fathom was that there was no air conditioning in the place, right? And that kind of tripped her up or something. But that's not his fault. Like I
Yeah,
don't
it's not his
understand.
fault.
Yeah, I don't understand why even the friend from school encourages her to like be nasty. And I don't know, the way she did it, I felt like allergies is something you don't mess with. It's
Yeah.
like you could kill someone. Like you don't know how allergic he is, right? Or how bad the allergies can get, right? And
Hmm.
I don't know, it was just like I don't think I could fall in love with someone who did that to me. Like
No.
I would hold a grudge my entire life. Like, yeah, I don't know. And I think her pranks are more severe than his.
Yeah, like
Like,
he doesn't let her luggage get delivered, and she almost kills him. They're not the same.
yeah. Yeah, and he goes to jail. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't understand how he can, like, and I don't always like it when they kind of excuse it as weird or and quirky. They're like, oh, she's weird, right? She's this like neurotic. She's got her own brand of weirdness, right? And she's
Hmm.
got to find a guy that kind of jibes with that weirdness. I feel like no one can jibe with that weirdness. Like it's on another level.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody as is really that into Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, like that's bizarre. That's strange that
Yeah.
you would be so into it in that way, right?
Because it's not, I mean, it's a tragic romance. It's not
Yeah,
like, I don't know. Like, if they had made it Roman holiday, I mean, I guess it's not Verona, but like that makes way more sense. Or, I don't know, just anything other
yeah,
than
yeah.
it was just weird and not romantic and not funny. I guess they were trying to go for big laughs, which was just,
I don't know.
it
They
reminded me
thought,
of, I recently watched When in Rome uh, with Kristen
oh,
Bell, and that's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
And also kind of mean spirited, and that's what this one kind of reminded me of.
Yeah. And I think like you said, I had a lot of high hopes for it because I love Cat Graham. And I
Hmm.
think Tom Hopper is like really charismatic and
Hmm.
funny. And I feel like they didn't like utilize the talents of their cast,
Hmm.
right? Like these people could have, I think they could
Yeah,
have done really well. Yeah. Yeah. The screenplay was just no. Yeah.
and this is a nitpick, but I also didn't feel like they styled her very well. I felt like her dresses were
I
not very
agree.
flattering and were strange. The length of them, the way that they cut her off right at her chest. I don't know. I just, even that I didn't think really worked, and I don't know. Just nothing was doing her any favors. She tried her best, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It just
I
didn't work.
agree about the costuming. I thought that they were really ugly and they didn't flatter her
Yeah.
at all. She's so beautiful, right? And I'm
Mhm.
like, and she's always wearing dresses with the same cut, right? Which
Mhm.
just don't look, I don't know, I don't think it will look good on anyone. I don't know.
No.
And I think they're going for like a period kind of vibe to it because they had like a bodice and,
Mhm.
something. But I don't know, it was, and they made her wear like that weird scarf and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Weird, and like I said, the way it cut off her bust and it was just not very flattering, and weird patterns, combinations of patterns. There's one that had sort of a fluffy top to it, and it was just, I don't know. So even that didn't work for me. I mean, I hate to focus on clothes but it was just one other thing that I thought they just got it wrong on this movie.
yeah. And was she wearing heels? I feel like she was traipsing through
Mm-hmm.
Rorona in heels. It didn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, when you're like
Yeah.
on
I
a
mean,
tour, right?
yeah. So I would give this one, uh I don't know. I liked it. I give it a 1, I guess. I like it less than A Perfect Pairing. I would rather watch if I had
Yeah,
to.
I think I'm on a one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then there was That's Amore. This was on, or That's Amore. That's on the 25th of August. Riley Dandy, Isaac Gonzalez. And this is director Sean Paul Pacino, Ali Ashford, John Ducey, and Tiffany DuPont writers. After her job and relationship implode on the same day, Sophia starts from scratch and meets a dashing Spanish chef who might be her missing ingredient. So this movie was fun enough, but the problem is that they didn't make Sophia's character very likable.
Yeah.
Like, she's annoyed with her mom for signing up for these cooking classes. Like, I mean, may I be so cursed as my mom signs me up for cooking classes with a hot Spanish chef. I mean, it didn't seem like that. She was just so rude to her mom when it seemed like her mom was being very nice, and helping her and giving her a place to live, um and I don't know. Even the food scenes weren't as romantic as they kind of should have been. I didn't hate it, but I didn't think the chemistry was that great, and I just disliked her as a character, so that hurt it a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought she was really rude, unnecessarily so. Like even at the
Yeah.
cooking class, she was like saying kind of a bunch of rude things about like,
Mhm.
oh, that's it, we're just making an omelet, and and she just had a lot of, like, I don't understand why he would be taken with her.
Yeah.
Like, why would you, like, like, why would
Yeah.
you, like, it's the same thing with Love in the Villa, right? Like, why would you fall in love with someone who, is like that, right?
Mhm.
um and I felt like, I think, I don't know, I think the rom-com formula of having the ex come back and,
Mm.
be an obstacle is a similar thing, right? Love in the Villa did the same thing, with the exes come back and then there's some kind of obstacle. But I feel like it kind of, you got to do it right, otherwise it just clutters up the movie, and then we are spent, you know um our time and attention is spent on this other thing when, you could be focused on the central romance instead. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that it had potential, but it didn't really, like, I mean, I think it's better than some of these other ones, but
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't really get there also. Yeah.
Yeah, I would give it 2.5.
Yeah, I think I'm on a 2. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
All right, last one we're going to talk about is Look Both Ways. This was on August 17th. Lily Reinhart, Danny Ramirez, and Aisha D. Director Wanuri Kahiu and writer April Prosser. It's on the eve of her college graduation. Natalie's life diverges into parallel realities, one in which she becomes pregnant and remains in her hometown to raise her child, and another in which she moves to LA to pursue her dream career. So, what did you think of this one?
I enjoyed it more than I think all these other ones.
Yeah.
I thought that she had decent chemistry with both the men. right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Danny Ramirez is really good. Has like I think he could communicate like love really well. Like he emotes so good.
We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies Podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Those parts were really good. I think the problem is that they ignored a lot of the realities, I think, of having a child. Like they kind of made it seem that, yeah, I mean, of course, right? I mean, the idea here is that, if you do have one or you don't, she's gonna be okay either way, right? I think that's the message of the movie, right? But I think that, a lot of, I think, I don't know, like there's financial kind of reality to having a child. Like I think none of that was kind of explored, right? And I think the movement towards her success was really quick, right? I think lots of people spend a lot of time or a lot of years working on projects, and then not to have instant success, right? I
Mm-hmm.
she got like it happened like really quickly, right? Like, oh, I did this one project, right, and then it blew up, so I felt in that way that it was a bit simplistic narratively, right? That
Yeah.
yeah,
I
there
mean,
were enough stakes, I think. Yeah.
who knew getting a short at South by Southwest is the ticket?
We've
I
been
think a lot
doing
of
the wrong thing, Rachel, all
I
these
think a lot
years.
of short directors that they would argue with that. Yeah, the whole depiction of animation as a career is probably not like super accurate
Yeah, yeah,
in this.
yeah,
Also, like the fact that there's these animators that are like super famous. I mean, within the animation world, sure, there's ones that we know and
yeah,
that are great at their jobs, but I don't really think they have like actual fangirls, out there like my
yeah,
dream job is to work. I mean, I think your dream job is to work for Pixar, or something like that, as opposed to, I don't know, particular animator, but it doesn't matter. I mean, that doesn't matter. I did when the guy that she's dating in the LA reality, when he says that there should be a live action version of Spirited Away, I died. I was like, okay, that's the deal breaker in this relationship.
Leave that man now. I was surprised that it kind of ended well. I don't know. Like I
Like
thought
I thought
maybe
somehow she was going to end up with Danny Ramirez's character in both realities.
that's what I
I thought
thought as well. Like yeah, but they kind of like throw
so.
you off, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so the
So
idea is that either way, she's okay.
yeah,
And as far as like the reality of having a child and everything like that, I mean, she ended up staying with her parents,
yeah,
um, and them helping her raise Rosie. But I did feel like it was unrealistic that he would be as present as he was, when they're not an actual couple, but they
yeah,
behaved like a couple.
yeah,
And so, I mean, I think he would be supportive, but would he? I don't know. Just the way they were acting was very couple-ish through the whole thing until
yeah,
finally he has this other relationship that then is easily quickly discarded.
yeah,
I didn't like that she leaves. She goes to visit her friend finally, and she finds out that there's somebody else babysitting Rosie, her daughter, and so she picks up and leaves because she's so upset about that, and leaves her friend who's been planning this whole trip and everything. And and blames it as an excuse that it's her daughter when like her parents are right there. Why wouldn't she just call them and be like, "You check in on Rosie and make sure everything's okay"?
Yeah.
She wouldn't need to fly back after only being there for one day. I mean, that whole plot, and I hate it when people kind of blame the children on their rudeness.
Yeah.
Blame their rudeness on their children when you're just being rude.
Yeah, like I understood what they were trying to do, which would basically says like, once you have a child, your child is your whole life. The idea that
Mm-hmm.
they will always come first, right? Be before your own needs. But you're right? I think sometimes a lot of the practical realities are just not kind of thought about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, her parents are right there. Why can't she just call them? Unless they kind of said like, oh, maybe the parents are also using the time to go on a vacation or something like that, right? Like create, I think, more plausibility.
Yeah, or why wouldn't she just talk to the babysitter and be like, "Okay, what's your name? Who are you? Like let's figure this out." I feel like
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
do that before flying all the way
yeah,
over. Yeah, and I mean they kind of have her as she was like working as a barista and stuff like that to support Rosie. Um, which is fine. But yeah, they do kind of gloss over some of those things. But overall, it was still pretty cute. I liked Lily Reinhardt. I thought she was good. Uh,
yeah. She's good. Yeah.
and I don't think I've seen her in anything before. So, um,
She was in that Amazon film with I can't remember the name, but it was like it was a romance also. It's with that guy who did a Christmas movie, Dash and Lily's something.
oh yeah, yeah. No, I did. That's in Ireland. She goes to Ireland, right?
No,
I think so.
are you talking about the right movie? I can't remember. No, it definitely was not in Ireland. It was like at American high school.
Oh, Chemical Hearts.
Yes, yes, that's the one. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm thinking of something different. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean this was cute. It was a fun idea, and uh, I would give it 3.5 out
Yeah.
of 4.
I think I went fresh on this on
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes. I think it would be like about a 2.5 for me.
Mm,
That fresh?
yeah.
Yeah, kind of freshish. Yeah.
Precious. Very good. Well, let us know if you've seen any of these movies. We'd love to hear your thoughts and which one you liked the best out of the group. I think Look Both Ways was my favorite, although I did enjoy Love and Gelato. So those are the two. But yeah, work harder, do better, Netflix. You can make good stuff. I mean, I've really enjoyed the To All the Boys movies. I really enjoyed Single All the Way. I thought that was great. So you can make good stuff. It's just not been a great year for Netflix rom-coms.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I think there are good ones, right? But
Yeah.
of late, I haven't seen a lot of good ones
Yeah.
recently. Yeah, but we'll
Well,
get there, I guess.
yeah. Yeah. So real quick, I was just going to say, so I recommend Always Be My Maybe and the Guernsey Literary Potato Peel Pie Society. If you're jonesing for a Netflix rom-com, those are both really good,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And I recommend Set It Up. I think everyone loves Set It Up. And
Mm-hmm.
this other movie that I just discovered called Love and Leashes. It's about the BDSM community, but it's really good. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it does a really good job of exploring that community and and the whole dynamic, and the romance is really sweet and cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I recommend those two.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where can people follow you and read your reviews?
You can follow me on Twitter at litmysoul, LITMYSOUL. If you want to read my work and my scathing Persuasion review, I'm on culturedvouchers.com. We do film, books, TV, wrestling, games. Yeah, so check us out.
Yeah, and you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure that you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate it. 5 stars. It helps us a lot and people to be able to find the podcast. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have the Patreon group and merch store. So take a look at that. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.